first, Guruji wants to go over proper pronunciations of our goddesses so that we can help correct each other on the spot so that we can train ourselves to say them properly.
Yes, I think there's no reason we should pronounce them improperly. And once we get in the habit, and it's like that's what everyone says, then that becomes very difficult to break. So I think while we're starting this, we should because it does make a difference. You know, the sounds in Sanskrit have an effect. That's what mantras are. They're Sanskrit sounds. They have an effect. If we say the wrong sounds, we get the wrong effect. And that's not what we want to do. So first, I mean, does everyone have the little 10 great cosmic powers? Okay. So here's what you can do if you want to stay up to have a record of this pronunciation thing. This is about you may have noticed in some of the writings that you will be reading a word like, okay, here's S-U-T-A-R-A. Well, so the S-U is normal, but the T, then the first A has a line over it, and then R and the second A has a line over it. So what does that mean? That means that those are not, the sound is not as an but the sound is and So we have, in English, we have lots of words with A in them, and some are pronounced with a and some with an a, and so you have to just learn that. And you hear it, and you imitate it, and you learn it. But when we write it, you can't tell by looking at the writing. Well, Sanskrit is much more precise than that. So whatever is written is very unambiguous. So in this Devanagari script, which is what Sanskrit is written in, there's a difference in the letter, the way it looks, the shape of the letter for and for So, and this is true of most of the vowels, e, u. And so the is differently written from the etc. So this is the issue with the names of the goddesses. I mean, there are lots of other issues with Sanskrit sounds, but this is actually pretty simple. So it's not Kali and it's not Kali. It's Kali. There's a line above the and a line above the E. So if you want to just put these in, if you go to the table of contents of your little booklet, the 10 Great Cosmic Powers, you'll find them listed in the traditional order. And we'll go through them in that order. So I'm going to say it correctly, and I ask you to repeat it after me. So it's Kali.
Kali.
Yes. Kali.
Kali.
So it's not Kali and it's not Kali. It's Kali. They have equal value, and they're both long letters, the A and the E. So the A as a long A is A. The E as a long E is E. So Kali. Okay, then whoever has that goddess, and I don't know yet who has which goddess. Stevie, will you say that correctly for us?
Kali.
Thank you. So now, in every discussion, if someone says it wrong, your job, the word Kali, is to correct them. You know, if they say Kali,
Bad choice.
yeah, right. Emphatically, which Kali is capable of, right? So you're responsible. You're responsible for our pronunciation of Kali, and then the next one is Tara, Tara. So they're also equal, Ta and Ra. It's not Tara and it's not Tara. It's Tara. Can you say that with me? Tara. Tara. So Gerald, if anybody says it wrong, Tara, then you know you don't have to lop off their heads, but you could say, all right, no, that's not right. Say Tara. All right, next is, and this one is always pronounced wrong. Everybody pronounces this wrong. The only long vowel in Tripurasundari is the last one, so it's E. So it's Tripurasundari. It's not Tripurasundari, which is what all English-speaking people want to do. You know, in English it's da 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 da. That's words pronounced like that. That's the way words are pronounced. And so when they get to the Sanskrit words in India, they're going to do that with them. They're going to do Tripurasundari or Tripurasundari or something like that. You got to have da 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 da. But this is Tripurasundari. Tripurasundari. Tripurasundari.
So can I have a quick question about that? Because if I was reading it with my Dutch mind, I would say Tripurasundari. But it's translated into English, right? So we say try.
No, that's wrong. If I said that, that's wrong.
It's more
So
like
it's
E, right?
No, it's E.
E.
Yeah, because the letter I, the letter we write is I. Try. It would be try if it had a line over it. But if it doesn't, it's E.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's Tripurasundari.
Tripurasundari.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Tripurasundari. Tripurasundari. Who has Tripurasundari? Oh, okay. So Shane, keep us in line. Tripurasundari.
Tripurasundari.
And I know that what I usually hear is Tripurasundari. Sundari. She's Sundari.
Well, you just said it wrong. You keep saying try.
Thank you.
Okay.
Tripura.
Tripura. Exactly.
Tripurasundari. But
Tripurasundari.
Tripurasundari. So
But I'm
Tripurasundari.
confused. It's Tripura?
No,
Like you're going on a trip.
Yeah, right. Tripurasundari. Great. Okay, and then next is, I think this is Michael Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari.
Okay, so here's where I have a question, again, W and V. So Bhuvaneshwari or Bhuvaneshwari?
Well,
Okay, W
yeah,
and V.
but there is no actual W in Sanskrit, I don't think.
Yeah. Right.
So, and this depends on what part of India you come from and whether you speak Bengali or what, as to whether. So the V's and the B's and the V's all get, sometimes they get pronounced one way and sometimes they get pronounced another. But, so what is the,
Because it could be
see, it's hard for me when I can't see it written in the Devanagari.
Yeah, Bhuvaneshwari or Bhuvaneshwari. Yeah, Bhuvaneshwari.
Yeah, he uses a W.
Yeah.
Bhuvaneshwari.
He uses,
All
they're all,
Yes, but I'm asking about the last W, and the W, it's a W versus a V. Because we constantly have this question in my Sanskrit class. But, or what?
Well, I'm
And
going
they always
to
say,
see.
well, it depends.
Yeah, right.
Like, wait, it depends on the word and, yeah.
Yeah, it is actually, nobody's giving me the words in the Devanagari. So how is it written in Devanagari? Does anybody know?
Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari.
I think it's another V. Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari. I've never said Bhuvaneshwari. I would say Bhuvaneshwari. But so take your choice. But it's Bhuvanesh. It's not not Bhuvaneshwari. It's Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari. So the E is the important thing. Is the E is what it has a line over it. The last I. Yeah. So it's just like Tripurasundari. So this is really the pattern here, is that many of, more than half of these get the final emphasis on an E.
So it's not Bhuvaneshwari. It's not on the esh. It's on the e.
Bhuvaneshwari.
Right.
Yeah. It's not on the esh. Okay.
And that's because most feminine nouns, nouns have gender in Sanskrit, and most feminine nouns will end in E. And you can remember that because it's Shakti and it's Shiva. So most masculine nouns will end in A. So you know, and people sometimes say, well, what's the word? Well, Shava, the Shavasana, that is A in place of E. So Shiva with A is missing his Shakti. So he's dead. So that's what a corpse is Shava. Yeah. Shiva is alive, Shava is a corpse, because E is the power, the Shakti, which is what gives the life. So, yeah, A nouns are mostly masculine, there are exceptions, and feminine nouns are mostly E, and there are exceptions to that too.
And then you have to have the adjective, right? The adjective has to agree.
The adjective has to agree too. And it's a highly inflected language, Sanskrit.
Swamiji, when you have the emphasis on the E, are you compounding the vowel? So with Tripurasundari, is it Sundari? Do you connect the ri, or is it Sundari? So like you said, Shakti, is it Shakti with no te, or is it Shakti?
I think I would say Shakti.
Okay, so with Bhuvaneshwari, it's ri at the end, not just Bhuvaneshwari.
Actually, in the Devanagari writing of it, the Shakti is a different writing than Shakti, and it's written Shakti. So,
but are eyes connected or not? Is what I'm trying to like with Bhuvaneshwari, the ri, or is it Bhuvaneshwari?
No, it's the first you said.
Okay, Bhuvaneshwari.
Yeah, because that's the E with this, and then if it's E, otherwise you actually write the E, because and then there's not exactly a pause, but there's a difference. So it would be Shakti instead of Shakti. So in English you do it different ways, very arbitrarily, but in Sanskrit it's written. The way it's written is very clear, so it's very helpful when you're studying the language.
Really, are R's like Again, for my language is r, or y'all saying r, which is way back.
No,
and I
it's
say
it's more like a trill R.
yeah, more up front, right? Shaktari, if you
Ri,
can make that sound.
ri.
One of the things I want to help in Sanskrit, they have very specific places where the tongue
Yeah,
lands. We don't really do that in English.
I do it in
We
Dutch,
do in
yeah.
Dutch, right? Back.
Yeah, I should have had these
Forward.
in a Devanagari form, but I don't.
So sometimes that helps figuring out where to.
And one last question, do you want all of us to say our own goddess, because we kind of started doing that after Stevie was the only one that said his own goddess name. Just
Oh,
wondering if you want to keep that up or.
yes, I do. So, but who is, you,
Sorry, Michael.
you said, who's Bhuvaneshwari? Oh, Michael. Can you say it for us?
Bhuvaneshwari.
Thank you. And so you, Bhuvaneshwari. Okay, so you can remind us if we don't say it right.
Okay.
Next, next is Tripura Bhairavi. Tripura Bhairavi. You want to say that?
Well, is it the same again with trip, not try?
Tripura. Yeah. Tripura Bhairavi.
So it's not Bhairavi?
It's not. No, it's because that's a compound. Bhai. There's I, not a.
Bhairavi.
Bhairavi. And that's one letter in Sanskrit. AI. The AI. Bhairavi. Bhairavi. Yeah,
And
that's.
do you inflect that I like Bhairavi, or is it Bhairavi?
Bhairavi.
So all smooth until the end.
Yes,
Punch.
but it's smooth, but it's not pronounced it's pronounced I.
I.
Tripura Bhairavi. Now the AI could have a line over it. We write it in our alphabet as 2 letters, but in Sanskrit that's 1 letter. I. Okay.
That's me.
That's you. Okay. Can you say it?
Tripura Bhairavi.
Tripura.
Tripura Bhairavi.
More like going on a trip. So Tripura Bhairavi.
Tripura Bhairavi.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's great. And actually, this goddess is often referred to as Bhairavi, not Tripura Bhairavi.
Bhairavi.
Okay, thank you. And next is easy. Well, it's actually not as easy as it might seem, but it's Chinn. So there are 2 N's. Well, in English, you just pretend they're 1. But in Sanskrit, it's Chinna. Chinna. You do end 1 N and start the next N. Chinna. Chinnamasta. Chinnamasta.
So we're emphasizing the last name.
But the last A has the line over the top. So we've had the last, all these 4, and actually almost every one of them, there's a line over the last vowel, and that's the major emphasis. Now in Kali and Tara, it's both vowels, but these others, that's not true. So who's Chinnamasta? Okay, Chinnamasta. Yeah, Chinnamasta. And can we all say that? Chinnamasta.
Chinnamasta.
Okay. And good. And Mana is the Chinnamasta police. Okay, now somebody is the next one. Who is that? That's you. Okay, so this is a real exception because it's the only one that has 3 vowels that are long emphasized vowels, and it's Dhumavati. Dhumavati. Dhumavati.
Dhumavati.
Right. Dhumavati. And I've been saying that one wrong. I've been saying Dhumavati, and that's absolutely not right. So it's Dhumavati.
Dhumavati.
Can everybody say that?
Dhumavati.
Now, this is a DH. So it's do. It's not do, it's do. Dhumavati. And it's vati, not vati, vati. Dhumavati. 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 I have to practice that one.
Which is the first day that's hard?
Pardon me?
The first day is hard?
Yeah, the first vowel, Dhumavati. Dhumavati. Let's all say that together. Dhumavati. Dhumavati. Okay, great. Thank you. And then I only got a few more left. And the next is Bagalamukhi.
Not Bagalamukhi, but Bagala.
It's Bagalamukhi.
Bagalamukhi.
And it's
Bagalamukhi.
no, because there's a long A, the third A. Bagalamukhi.
So the third A is long.
Yes. So you got two long vowels.
Bagala.
The last A and the ending E. And remember there's an H there. It's mukhi. 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 But the U is not a long U. It's not mukhi. It's mukhi. Bagalamukhi. Again, Bagalamukhi. Great. Bagalamukhi. Then we come to who has this?
Bagalamukhi is.
Oh, so this is
You're saying it wrong.
Matangi. Matangi. Matangi.
Is that there's a long.
It's the first A is long and the ending E is long. So it's Matangi, not Matangi. 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 So if
Emphasis is on the first syllable in this.
Yes.
Matangi.
the first and last. Matangi. All right. So say that all together. Matangi. Matangi.
Matangi.
Matangi.
Matangi.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Matangi, and not Matangi, but it's the opposite of that. It's Matangi. Matangi. Sounds weird to me, but that's it. And then the last is.
Who is Matangi?
Pardon me?
John is Matangi.
Yes. John, what are you?
Matangi.
Oh, you're Matangi. So who's Kamalatmika?
Garland.
Garland, okay. So it's not Kamalatmika, which is nice, I like that. But it's Kamalatmika. Kamalatmika. So there's only one emphasis, and it's not on the end, which is it's different from all the rest. It only has one long A, and that's the middle one, La. So Kamalatmika.
The LA is long. La.
Do you pronounce the T?
Yes. Kamalatmika. 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 Mika. Kamalatmika. Kamalatmika. So Kamala. And so who is our vice presidential candidate? She's Kamala. Kamala? Or Kamala? I don't know how she pronounces it.
Kamala Harris.
I like that, miss. Ooh, our big president is.
Kamala. Kamala.
Yes.
Kamalatmika. So she's the last one, and she's the only one that doesn't have the last syllable emphasized. That's weird, but there you have it. Kamalatmika. All right. And who's Kamalatmika? Oh, yes. Okay. Kamalatmika. All right, you will hold us to the proper pronunciation. You will hold us to the proper pronunciation.
I will.
Okay, thank you. All right, so shall we go through them all and say them together? Okay. Okay. Kali, Kara, Tripurasundari, Bhuvaneshwari, Tripura,
Chinnamasta.
Dhumavati, Bagalamukhi, Matangi, Kamalatmika.
They're all
Yeah, the last, it's Mika, it's not Mika, it's Mika. Kamalatmika. Kamalatmika. All right. I mean, we're exaggerating. People don't say it quite to that extent, but it's a softer.
Well, they say it like way faster.
Yeah.
You'll still be like, what did you just say?
Right.
Did you just say something?
But if you're pronouncing it the kind of Western way, and someone says it the proper way, probably won't understand them. You know, I mean, I have that problem all the time. What did you say? You know, write it for me. Then I can say, oh, you're saying that. Because in my head, what they pronounced isn't what I know. but they're pronouncing it right. All right, great. That's what I wanted to accomplish.
Beautiful. Great. How about a big breath? Welcome, goddesses.